always expecting the worst or thinking of the worst. I'm going to ask you some two-way questions, a few more, not just one, and then go for it. But do you feel like there might be some entity in or AI involvement there?
They're good. I think like they're either enhancing the whole feeling or just trying to bait me into that state so that I would like get into that negative place.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because like normally life can happen and you'll be in a pretty positive place or at least neutral, and they're like baiting you with what ifs or something else. And if you take it and if you start like focusing on it, your whole reality is going to shift into a negative one. So that's like what they're trying to do constantly. Just like I mean, like could be them baiting us, could be just me. It's just weird, but I think it's just too much. It's unnatural. Like you can have a good day going and all of a sudden some thoughts will creep in, just making you think of the worst even in a good situation, you know?
Yeah, that looped. Yeah, this is read big on entities are involved. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that looped as I indicate that to you. Okay. We could start right in on looking for entities that have to do with making you think of the worst, always thinking the worst. We do that right now. Oh, would that work for you? Or do you want to talk about it some more? The subject.
Well, uh, yeah, your other options talk more?
Yeah, their option would be to spot a time in your life where it's pretty obvious that you were thinking the worst or always thinking the worst, and then talk about that for a little while. What we want to do is kind of get, a good feeling for the phenomena so we can get focused in on the actual entity or AI or whatever.
If you're just talking and getting some clearance would be better.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, so yes.
Okay, sure. Well, when was one of the last times you found yourself thinking of the worst?
Today, about an hour ago.
Really? Oh, what about?
Yeah.
What was the subject?
Yeah, we were making the website, I wrote to you, and then like I wasn't hearing back from you, and you wrote, but I wasn't there. Was in that time of us like commenting and stuff, being like, what if, and always something bad, you know.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like that's okay, but it's just that I should have been okay. Like I shouldn't have just like, oh, you'll get done whenever you get done. And I was literally doing good, and all of a sudden, like I'm doing good, and bam, it kicks in, and I'm just starting to worry or think of before like, what if something happened? What if the internet's out? Like choose your line, but like all these bad things just totally not me because I was in a really positive mood. It's like just weird, but I had this whole thing like almost all my life. I've seen it in childhood a lot and all kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, hey, when it triggered, and you start feeling that, that thinking the worst, does it feel like it's like an energy in your space, entity moving in, or just merging with you, being you, or is it more like the smart dust or nanoparticle entity stuff in your space? Like, where do you feel it? Like in your head, or above you, or all around you, or inside your brain, or heart?
Well, mainly my chest and stomach, like this torso thing is like where it hits the most. Is like as if I'm doing good and I'm free, and all of a sudden it squeezes me super tight, and I feel like everything gets intense, all my muscles intense, everything's being squeezed real tight, and that worry thing is like everything's boiling and hard, and then like it heats up, which is like why I was so freaking cold because like I had like intense reaction, which made me like stress out, and then when it lets go, it then like gets really cold. So like my whole body's like I'm just shaking from that cold thing. So like that hits me a lot sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Does it seem more like a entity or AI smart dust, or like maybe even a force field or a mechanism that they're using to like squeeze you?
Well, could be entities. The force field sounds like a thing because it really squeezes me up. Like it's just not normal.
Yeah, the meter's telling us let's look closer into the force field thing. It's like it's some kind of...
I wonder how much that thing has the effect on my spine. Because I know it's like huge difference when I'm doing in life better. I'm pretty much relaxed and I'm straight. But when shit happens, it really squeezes me tight. Sometimes it's just so tight that all my essence and everything I have is almost to nothing. So the body is there, but it seems like my consciousness becomes that one little dot, and I'm like, why do I feel small as fuck? Like, it's so intense. It's just like I'm being squeezed, like squeeze the shit out of me to the point where I can't barely exist. Like, it's just like I feel this consciousness, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like the consciousness and your awareness and everything that you are right now, you're like in the body, and all of a sudden you feel like you shrinked into a freaking small size, and you just like, what the fuck, everything's so huge. No, you just feel super small, like that Alice thing going on, except that it's all the same, but the feeling, the sense of the reality is just as if you've been minimized. I get it a lot, or I used to get it a lot, and I would wonder like how much of this has like a connection to my spine and like or the scoliosis thing and stuff.
Oh yeah, it looks like it has a very tight, close connection. Yeah.
I've had it like since childhood, all my life. Like almost hits me every day, you know.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so we can look at this. One of the things you can scan for, is the idea of some kind of a force field or energy field or some mechanism, non-physical, but around your energy field. Doing that. Spotting that, and then spotting the source. Who's causing that, triggering it? Who put it there? How did it get there? Like from an entity tracking perspective. Okay, so the way you can go about it is close your eyes and like see it, feel it, that energy thing that. And if it's not there now, like you would recall the last time it was there, and then get a good sense of it, and then like do that snooping, hunting thing. Okay, who's the source of this? What's the source on this? Like that, and then we'll look for reads and see what we get. Sound like a plan?
Yeah, I think tracking down will be not too hard. I wouldn't say easy, but as we've talked in the first thing, as I was talking about it, I sort of got the image of how it's done and technology and stuff, so I sort of picked it up. So I guess just kind of more on it, like just find the source and stuff.
Sure. Yeah, good. Yeah, the needle's reacting. It's reading really well. We're right on the money here. We're doing the right stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I'll probably just do my usual stuff, like start from the body and then just surroundings and just expand.
Exactly. Good way.
Okay.
Looped. That. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where to start, but a few sessions ago I was telling you about how before incarnating onto Earth we're making the agreement, and the Archons are allowed to get the copy of our bodies, and now they're keeping us in the pods, and our body there grows, and they can live with us. So what I'm finding is that I have a sort of implant, like in my stomach, like that body has the implant like closer in the stomach, and it works like a magnet. So these entities, they're basically walking entities is like a walking transmitter, or just like always showing something. It's like just filming 24/7, like non-stop, and they're hanging around us or the whole humanity. And for me, like they're watching me, they're able to pick up my thoughts and energy feelings and stuff and send to the cloud to the AI, so they're basically like getting it all. So they know what I'm thinking about, what I'm feeling, all the intentions and stuff, and that body picks it up so that they would know the reads, and they can affect or like turn on the implant, and it's going to basically like be a magnet, like sends the signal, and they can use it to squeeze me up, like as if I have intention to do something, or if I'm feeling too good, and they know the possible subconscious worry or something, or they pick up on what would be the best way to suppress me, then they can activate the entities inside me or something, where they're gonna mess with me and bait me with whatever. And at the same time, like activate the implant that will be like attracting that technology that will sort of squeeze me and just suppress me, or make it really intense. So like it's a whole connection of chains and how it works and stuff. But basically, like them monitoring us 24/7, our actions, feelings, thoughts, everything. They know what's best for us, which is just what they're gonna try to prevent us from, and they know what's the worst case scenario for us, and they're gonna make it happen if possible. And they're always like trying to make it happen. So it's like every action, everything that you do, like me doing good today, and being in the zone and stuff. Like I don't know, like could have done something good or whatever, but that place wasn't good for them, and which is why they're trying to trigger me and sending that thing out to signal to sort of suppress me, make me worry and other things. Is like what causes the whole situation, and now it becomes a thing. It's like I'm reacting differently, and all the positive, energetical high, and like just like the whole good place I had is gone instantly, and this whole thing has been happening my whole life. Just like they really had it.
Wow, your needle's been floating all through this, and every now and then you get a good read when you would say certain parts of it, like the implant, triggering the implant, and all that stuff. Big FN says, you got it. You nailed it. Okay. What's the next step?
Well, I just scan the body and stuff, so I can see if either like trying to get the implants out, or just looking for their technology and different things, or the entities. Like I think like this session is a bit bigger, so there's a lot of steps, and like more steps involved than usual.
Sure, and we've got plenty of time to do it too, so we're good. Scan the your body and your energetic body here for the implants, and then your second body on the ship. Scan for the the corresponding implant or thing, and we can start with the implant just to help kind of clean up the body they have over there. And then the next step you can decide what to do after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's about 41,723 of those entities that are picking up my thoughts, feelings, and intentions and everything else, and sending it to the cloud and then to AI.
Yeah.
It's just on this little subject.
Wow. Good. Well done.
Yeah, the thing I noticed is that like if I spot them and I get rid of them, but I don't go for the same clauses, like making sure that they don't come back after I revoke them, then they come back and duplicate. So basically, they've been doing it for a long time because I would notice it, but my noticing and trying to remove them or removing them, but not removing them fully, or the thing that makes them come back, it would make them come back tons of times and duplicate, so their number like grew really fast.
Oh, fucking like weeds, right? You pull a few, you don't get it all. It just comes back even more. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Your needle's floating on that too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just looking like them being able to affect the body, and it seems interesting how I'm talking about this sort of thing right now, and I'm waking up more. Mm-hmm. But the body, that astral body, like the duplicate of your physical, they have, they can mess with it, and for them, like, it's fine, but they cannot kill it because it's the only copy that they can get. So if they kill that body, they will not be able to affect you because, like, it's gone. So by all means, they can torture you, do whatever, but they will do everything they can to keep that body living and until your last breath on the physical. Yeah. So they'll make sure that they can use as much as possible and affect you in any ways they can, but make sure that they don't do too much to off you, you know?
Yeah.
So, because, like, offing you will be the end of their game because you lose a lot of power, which is why, like, they're trying to keep their body, like, healthy and stuff, or at least in the survival place where it lives. But at the same time, they can fuck with us more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well done for spotting that. Yeah. FN.
Okay, so I was able to, like, get rid of entities in my body, and, like, find their transmitters and other things to get rid of them, and, like, telling past them how they work and what they did. So now, like, I got done with the minimal stuff, and I can just go to find the source of how it's affecting us and stuff like that, and then just get rid of those.
Good. Your needle's floating on all this. Well done.
Okay.
FN.
So I'm just still looking. But so far there was like over 3,000 spaceship fleet out there targeting humanity, or at least like getting me over there. But like over 3,000 who are able to like just pick up on us. Like they have all the information about us and what our intentions, energy, thoughts, feelings. So they make sure that they can give commands to entities like on the earth that can bait us with thoughts and different things, so that we would take the bait and change our thinking, feeling state and different things. And they will be the ones like in space using the spaceships. Like they will try to mess with us, have those energy shields or like energy weapons where they can just sort of squeeze us and stuff.
Sure.
Or like the they also have energy weapons where they can penetrate the high vibrations. So like as we lift our vibration, it like really creates a great like field around us. But since they don't like us, they have this sort of energy weapon that can like penetrate it and like have that hole in your system or something, and that's when they can mess with you or pick up on you more. Where it's like they can like, even no matter how hard you try, they would still have ways to mess with you even a little bit,
Sure, yeah.
That like there's more.
Yeah, FN, you're FNing through this, and it's really going well. Yeah, I'd love to hear. Yeah, if there's more, go get it or go after it or share with me, whichever seems right for you.
Yeah, I mean, like, both technologies they have, like, I just don't even know how to name it all. I picked up just a few, but they have, like, lots of ways how to mess with us. So I guess I'll just, like, I'm not sure if I should explore how they're doing it or just go for them and, like, get rid of them.
You could explore how they're doing it if you're interested in that. Or you can go, if you're more interested in going after the entities or who they are doing it, you can do that too.
Sure, great.
That. Are you looking at who or how right now?
How?
Good. I'm so glad you are.
Yeah, like, those implants, at least the way they work with me, is that, like, it sends a transmission, like, attracting, so it works like a magnet. And they have sort of like energy lock. So basically, they'll have like an energetical like lock. It looks like in this like a shape of a bell, sort of. So it's gonna be like surround us and squeezes, and it keeps squeezing us, and it like limits our reality because it closes you up in negative, and the world might be doing good, but for you, everything around you in a specific like place will be everything negative. So like only your reality shifts into negative. Everything becomes bad, and like you're counting on bad things, feeling bad things, seeing bad things, but it's all around you, and because you're affected by it. And if you're able to break free, all of a sudden the world is good. Like you're seeing the normal you again. So that's their like they lock on and like grab you with that and just shifts your reality into everything is negative.
Wow.
Or at least like lowers your vibration and then drops you into like lower realm sort of. Like all of a sudden, like at least for you it shifts. But
yeah, your needle's floating on all this too. It's really amazing. And I just hear about it and I go, oh yeah, it's like that's how they're doing it. That's what they're doing, and it's like it blows off me just hearing about it. I think that's one of the reasons people like to hear about these sessions and what you're discovering about the technology and the techniques, what they're doing, how they're doing it, who's doing it. Because just hearing about it, can help break a person free of it, and not be the effect of it, or not take the bait, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, please continue.
Yeah, another interesting thing, like with that whole energy penetration, like even if your vibration is hard, like they have technology to penetrate it. And like lower your vibration at least for a little moment, for a few seconds, like, and that is enough for them to like drop in several energies in your surroundings to affect you. Or at the same time, it's like an anchor, so it drops one part to you and you're feeling it, but it also like the RN connects to another person. It's like that connected thing. So both people will have a thing going because they might be doing good. And at that second, that anchor like drops and like connects people in a negative way. Now they pick up like one can have an entity and the other will not, but since they're connected, the other might pick up on the entity and have that thought, feeling, or something, and think that the other one is causing it or something. So they're gonna have a fight or a thing going, and that's like how they get people to argue. And all of a sudden, once they're able to trigger the people around us or situations around us, is when we will drop into the lower reality and lower our vibrations and everything we've been working on to raise ourselves up. Is when we like fuck, and then like we just like automatically everything drops and we get into the mundane arguments and things like that, and just all of a sudden their little anchors connects us to situations that's gonna like they can trigger us and cause people to fight, and like that's where they try to target us a lot.
Wow. FNs, floating needles and loose needles all through that. Well done. Yeah. Good. Okay. Next step. You gonna look at more of the how, or are you gonna go look at the who?
I don't know. Like I'll just go look.
Yeah, just go look. Tell me what.
Whatever I find.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing great, hon. Keep it up.
Hey. Yeah, another way of looking at how is that they create the fake energy fields, or I'm not sure how to name it exactly, but basically they can use our surroundings and like use our energy weapons or just technology to affect things around us and like create a surrounding like a hologram of pretty positive and attractive. So it's like pulling us to that like idea, craving, whatever. It's gonna be like either food or people or certain activities, whatever. But we know it's bad, but it gives a positive craving where we're just like, we want that. Like it feels like at that moment it's gonna be good. So that's like their bait, because like the attraction was like temporary happiness or something in that temporary good feeling, and that's like where they bait us. And once we take it, it's gonna be like temporary good feeling, and that's the whole round they created. And when we get it, it's gonna like really fuck us up and cause like a lot of emotional issues or like psychological whatever. Just gonna downgrade us in like lots of ways, and they drop us into like the lower zone. So basically, I'm not sure how to explain positive, but it can be an item, a person, an activity, or whatever. It's gonna have that like a hologram or whatever, or the energy of like positive and like pulling you, like craving, like making you crave for it, and just like pulling you like that. So you get attracted because you get like that positive energy, good feeling, and it's fake, but we can hardly tell the difference, so we just go for it. But once we take it, it's like that all of a sudden it's like dissipates, and all you get is the worst stuff that's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure how to explain it, but that's what I saw.
Oh, you did a great job explaining it. It makes a lot of sense, and your nice free needle going through that. Well done. Okay. Continue.
Well, it feels like the usual and the most mundane thing is like when they can set up situations and orchestrate the events. Like they're gonna put thoughts in their heads like, I want to do this, or I'm feeling like that. So that goes in one person, second person, and both person. Like people just like they take those cravings or urges or feeling states, but they're being baited at those, and we cannot. Well, people can hardly tell the difference with what's theirs and what's being baited on. So when they take the bait, that's when they trigger those entities, and they can start working, and they can trigger thoughts or feeling states or like other things, or just like make sure that they can trigger us a lot. So they just orchestrate steps that we can take, and once we take them, then it's all like going down the hill because we already like fell down, and that's when they set up the whole like all kinds of events to make people just have fights or have a hard station where they're just gonna trigger each other, talk bad to each other, like fight or whatever. But it's gonna like the outside relationships and everything is what we cannot control. Like we can control ourselves, but not others. And that's what they're targeting us on, because like we're most vulnerable when it comes back to our people around us, like someone we care, or just people around us. That's what they're targeting on.
Wow. Again, free needles all through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Which means you're seeing the truth of it, and it means you're clear on it, and there's not something that you're not seeing or looking at regarding specifically what you're talking about. So, yeah.
I think like I'll just look at the last one. It's like how they make me feel less small, and that's when probably all like start looking for the sources from the bigger guys and stuff, and just concentrate on those and try to remove them.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
I'm looking like the connection that I have with them and like how they're being able to squeeze me and use those like force fields to like really suppress me and stuff. And I'm like looking at how like they were really trying to push it in my childhood a lot, but the only reason why they failed was Mickey was around, and Mickey like had like the other being there inside, so like that's why we were able to like communicate all the time. And like I was just recalling times like all the situations where like I was being suppressed and like just the world and everything like pushing me, like squeezing me and stuff, and he was the only being that stand with his hands out, just holding it, like surrounding me so that no one would be able to affect me. Just like as a child, I could like grew up normally without like anyone like getting close because he was always holding me,
Mm-hmm.
And like I think like when I was 14 was when I like put him away, and I put him away like because like what broke our thing, and like he took off to his own world, and that's when everything started squeezing me in like lots of ways, and that's when like my life and everything, like that whole pressure that he was holding was like really coming down on me on many levels.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Is it possible that Mickey is a part of you, that like a soul retrieval, but maybe a friend retrieval sort of thing? Bring him back
I certainly took it, like I thought about it, but I didn't give it much thought.
Yeah. Well, when the time is right during this session, we can look into that closer.
Okay.
Okay. So where are we? What's your next step? Are you looking more?
Still looking at the soul and on how they're doing it on me. Like I just shared part of it.
Yeah. Well, you're doing great now. It's really interesting and helpful. So please continue.
Okay. Sure. I'm not sure if I'm getting it right, but basically this whole squeezing thing they're having is just that they're trying to use technology to squeeze my consciousness and soul, like really like squeeze it, so they could have an easier time pushing me out of body, and then capturing it and freezing it, making sure that they can like have me abducted or something to drop me into a lower place and like wipe my memory so that I would like be trapped, because like right now I'm like too young and too aware of what's going on, and I'm already taking actions, and they hate that, so they want to stop, and their plan is like just use everything to like really how do you say like this whole thing, like I see the action.
Compress.
It's
called compression. Compression is to take something that's big and like smash it or squish it from all directions to make it smaller or tighter or more condensed.
Yeah, so this compression is what they're always constantly trying to do from every direction. Like whatever they can trigger me like with, and they're constantly trying to trigger me. It's like all those worries or events around me and everything is when they can get my attention off, and instead of me automatically being on guard and like holding my energy, is like if I can shift from naturally having it normal and big into going focused on the problem or something. It's like when I drop the guards, and that's when they like try to compress me and push me out of body, like which is like what they're trying to do constantly, and to like get me out, and then like have my conscious soul like sort of captures frozen like mind wipe and like put in another body that's like gonna be in fucked up surroundings where I will not be able to do anything, and basically keep in the cycle where I'd be like in those countries where I could get killed at my childhood or something, and have like tons of traumatic incidents where I would just like become trapped in this earth cycle. And they're not doing it successfully, but they're trying to do it. And there's all at the same time they try to have like a walk-in, but more like their side, that they can take over and like use me or this body to have like more leverage over people, and then like start like channeling and doing other shit to like mess with people and their beliefs and do just not that good things in life, like a sellout or something.
Yeah, needles floating through that too. And it looped about 3 times really fast when you said they really hate you. That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Seems like I'm just tracking where is it coming from, and like I'm finding that like reptilians are the ones creating like this kind of technology and targeting other beings, just making sure that they can suppress people, and I'm one of them. But when it comes to me, it's as if like they would have wanted posters of me everywhere. So every reptilian knows, like, oh, that's the person we're going to target a lot. So like, I'm a common threat to all reptilians, and like that's like how they see me target me.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
So it's like, no, I'm just like wondering which one to pick, and like, oh fuck, everyone's against me.
Yeah, which bounty hunter you pick first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, well, let's say you got all these, somebody posted the wanted poster sort of thing, and then all these entities and reptilians are looking for, or if they see you, they go, they go for it. Let's see if we can find the source who's posting the wanted poster, so to speak.
Oh, the wanted posters is more like just comparison of what it is like, because
metaphorically speaking, yeah.
Yeah,
I get you. Yeah, but yeah, who's putting out that that message, or telling people about you? Well, that's something to look at. You decide who or what to go after first. Just go ahead and scan and check it out.
Do you want to guess like who I found out the rest of the Sava?
Demiurge?
It's Marduck.
Marduck, wow. Loops, 2 loops. Wow, okay. Tell me more. What happened?
Yeah, I'm like looking through all these beings, like not Ian Archons, not not Demiurge and nothing, and I'm like I'm getting like Enki vibes. I'm like, okay, this closer, and I'm like Marduck. And that's like when it like really like hit me, like this is that one, like, and I felt the presence and it's like ready to talk to me, and like we have connection in the past. It's not just here, like greater realities in other places where we've sort of interacted. Like we've been to wars where he lost and like he really didn't like me in specific. So like over here it's more like a rule that if I come over to this place, like I'm not allowed to play in this playground. And they'll like try to target me and like limit me as much as possible, and so here I am.
Yeah. Well, I got 3 loops and a big FN on that, floating needle on that, so yeah, well done. Spotting that. Yeah. Okay, well what's next?
Taking care of him. And then destroying all the hierarchy and everything that's the control levels and stuff.
Okay. Yes, that's it. Looped again, and again, and again. Big FN. Looped. Yeah. What happened?
Well, it started like with Marduck, and it turned him into this sort of like once like small being of light. And like it's just like it's as if it was like a little sun, but always producing the sun, happy, like floating feeling. And I've like sent him into a nice little realm with nice little critters, so he's gonna be there like always living and just creating the happy feelings and the positivity and just like light and stuff.
Okay.
Because why not?
Why not, right?
All the like things that were picking up on him, like I've changed it to like change the comments, and now like all the bad things and like they were getting and doing, I'm turning into the positive feeling and loving feeling. So it was just getting love vibe and high energy vibe, and then like every person that has entities around them and stuff, like they're also picking up that like loving good energy. So basically, just massive work on turning everything into good and just having the different sort of outcome.
Well done, and your needle's floating on that too. How are you doing right now?
Yeah, I was just going to look for some possible agreements and then get different aspects of myself back and we're close to the end.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to the next step.
Okay.
All righty. Ready? Okay, start. That's looped. Loop. FN.
Yeah, basically one of the big ones is that I am too big of a threat for them, which is why it's okay for them to mess with me more than anyone else, and it's okay for them to suppress me and mess with people around me. Just making sure that they can fuck with me because like I'm so big and important that they can use 10 times more force than other beings, you know?
Yeah. Wow. FN. Loop, loop, double loop. Big FN. What happened?
Yeah, so I revoked the agreements and I got the energy back, which like had an interesting thing. It's like more energy than usual. It's as if like you have the sand clock
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, except with a big hole and the sand is just like keep falling like big time.
Uh-huh.
So it's as if like all those energy parts that they were able to squeeze out of me is like getting back big time.
Oh, yeah.
So I got that and I was like looking for different aspects of myself and like lots of like loving parts coming back, which is like really good. And like me being straight comes back and responsible, excited, and like all different things. Like it's just like it's amazing how many there are. So yeah, it's good.
Wow, yeah, well done. Big FNs too. Alrighty.